Client results. What happens when everything goes horribly wrong? Guys, this is probably the one thing that's going to determine whether your client views you as the expert they can never let go of or as the rookie that they hired by mistake. It normally comes down to how do you react when everything you did, your tried, true, tested system, your marketing, your ads don't work. No matter how dialed in you have it, you are going to run into, on almost every single campaign, a time where the calls aren't being booked. The client can't close any of the deals. The leads cost has just gone up due to platform changes. If you find yourself in that situation right now, ask yourself, what would you do? Do you know how to troubleshoot, read the stats, actually build a campaign that blows their mind even when at the beginning it's starting to fail? How do you articulate what you're about to do, how it's going to correct, and the results that are to come? These are all thoughts that we need our students in the GSD to understand. And so recently I did a video explaining an exact methodology and strategy on how you can troubleshoot failing campaigns, how you can take something that looks like it might not be working, turn it around, and make it into the best thing your client has ever seen. I'm putting that video right here. It's coming up right after this for you guys. And if you're about to go out there and spend your hard-earned money on a course on basic information, I want you to stop. And instead, simply hit that subscribe button that you're gonna see at the bottom of this video. We are taking all of the information that we have, and we currently run a multi-7-figure agency, SMMA marketing agency that has been around for over 20 years. Absolutely every single day I am in the weeds doing the thing. And all of that information, all of that knowledge, along with all the rest that we've garnered from helping hundreds and hundreds of other SMMAs with our mentorship, is all coming right here to this YouTube channel for free. So save yourself the money, get the information from the channel just by hitting subscribe so that you get the videos every single week, and let's dive in. This video is all about what to do when everything goes wrong, when your marketing campaigns don't work, and how to turn it all around. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about something really, really, really interesting. I think, anyway, because I think it's something not a lot of people talk about. What is it? Well, it's what do you do?
I have a good one.
It goes wrong. What do you do if stuff goes wrong? Right? Social media tends to be a highlight reel. We're going to be talking about today how to troubleshoot. I personally think that the number one skill, or at least the number one skill of any successful business is selling. So let's get that out of the way. But at least top 3 skills is always going to be, how do I react when things go wrong? Meaning, what do I have for an emotional intelligence response? What do I have for a troubleshooting situation? What do I have to be able to differentiate or troubleshoot when something doesn't work? Anyway, the difference is between people who can watch a fucking YouTube video and get a thing and be like, yeah, that probably is going to work. And then when it doesn't work, they don't know what to do because all they did was that. You need the insight, right? You need to be able to know and troubleshoot what actually happened and what didn't. So we're going to go through 2 major segments of that today. Okay. One is going to be troubleshooting organic marketing, and the other is going to be troubleshooting paid marketing, because those are the 2 things that you guys are most likely to be using. And those are the 2 things that we're going to be teaching a lot of on different versions of these trainings, different versions of our master classes, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to be able to equip you with the tools and actual ability to be able to differentiate between, well, I'm fucked because I don't know what to do now, and okay, cool, let me follow these steps and understand these numbers to truly be able to produce another result. Does that sound fun? Sound fair? Sound like a worthwhile thing to talk about for a little while? Rock out? Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up. So let's start out today with organic marketing. So what are some issues? Let's go with organic marketing first. Organic marketing troubleshooting. So in order to troubleshoot, we first need to know what are the actual areas in which we're going to run into problems. So what are the most common troubles? Now you're going to run in with no engagement. It's no audience, no engagement, no, and then you get into where the messenger stuff is.
right? No responses. Nobody's opening. No one's opening my messages. No one's responding. No one's booking. So in organic marketing, this is going to be the most likely things, right, that we're going to be running into. No audience, nobody gives a shit about me. Nobody's engaging, nobody likes my content, right? And so we run through these one by one. We start to see, cool, well, how do we troubleshoot? Well, interestingly enough, the no engagement one, if we start with, part of it can be that you don't have an audience. So we start with no engagement. So what are we troubleshooting? Well, first, it could be the wrong audience, meaning the two most important things. You guys heard me in the mega event last week. What I talked about specifically, the two most important things in marketing are having the right person in front of the right offer, right? Content works the same way. So content is the same thing. It's just that it's the right messaging in front of the right person. More often than not, when I go and I audit a profile and they tell me I have no engagement, right? And that's the quote that comes up. I find a few different things. One, they have no friends, as in no audience, or they have no targeted friends on their list. So the people, the stuff they're putting out there that's for a specific audience, or the stuff that they think they're talking to, there's nobody to fucking hear it. There's nobody to listen to it, right? Second most common theme is their content sucks, right? And everybody doesn't want to believe that, so they blame the algorithm. They think it's this, that, and the other thing, but it's not, right? And what do I mean by their content sucks? Well, it's generic, as in you're trying to talk to everybody because you don't want to accidentally, not grab that one client that's going to be out there, but you end up talking to nobody. And so we need to be niched, okay? Second thing, we're burying the lead. What does that mean? No hook, no offer. Or if we do have one, it's all the way at the end, right exactly where nobody can see it. You know what I'm saying, guys? Right where no one's ever going to give a shit. And what's the purpose of an offer and a hook? It's to get people to read the rest of the thing. So why would you go tell this long ass story and then tell the hook or the offer at the bottom, in the middle? All of that shit doesn't work. My amazing, perfect stranger method uses organic marketing to do all these cool things and posts on your stuff and sends your messenger script. And oh, by the way, we used it to book 100 appointments last month. Or, oh, by the way, my student made over 7 figures last year using it. Guess what part of that would actually get you to fucking read it, right? It would be this exact organic marketing strategy was used to generate a brand new agency over 7 figures last year. Read on to see what that's all about, or read about it below. Which one of those two ways of flipping it, tell me in the comments or tell me in the chat, do you think would work better? Which one do you think would actually get people to, yep, second way, perfect, exactly. But all too often, I see it done the other way around when you're writing your content, you're doing that kind of stuff. Then you're asking too much. You're doing nothing but taking. You're taking. Hey, I've got this offer. Hey, I've got this offer. Here's another offer. Here's another 2-step. Here's another thing that you do. All this shit. Woohoo. And you wonder why one time you got somebody to buy, and then every other time people started to ignore you. They started to block your profile. They started to do all the rest of this shit. Doesn't work. So, okay, you look through your stuff now. Profile is too generic, too, so you're not attracting anybody on it. Too generic. Not set up to be a funnel. So I'm going to use myself as an example, right? As a correction point. You come over and you go, okay, let's take a look at Cody. Cody talks a lot of shit. Let's see what his shit's all. Let's see what he's doing over his. It's so much better, right? So what do we have? First of all, I call it who I want, agencies and coaches. We have a nice CTA. You click on the thing and it goes here. So as soon as you land on my page, you know exactly what we're all about. I've also pinned a 2-step, an offer to the top of it that specifically, again, calls out, has an offer in it, not buried. We closed 10 new clients in 3 weeks using this thing. That's the offer. Want it for free, risk reversal. This is now every time somebody comes through my profile funnel, they get the offer there and they get an offer here before they even know what's going on. You get 2 steps. Sometimes Rahul likes to talk shit. Then we move down, right? Now we do document. I'm documenting our student successes. I'm creating a story. I'm doing a little bit of personal content because it's my profile. It's not a group, right? This is a profile. So you throw some personal stuff in there to get some engagement on that. Do some other stuff where it's a little bit of motivation.
Real quick, let me interrupt. Go back to the personal thing. So the like I don't personally put a lot of personal stuff, but when I do, it amplifies some of the engagement on, like, especially on my stories. Like, once you look at your stories, you can see the view count, and then when you see the like count and stuff, that's obvious. But sometimes, like, I'm used to like 300-400 whatever people looking at stuff on my Instagram or Facebook, and that's like a good day for me. But then it dropped to like 15. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I started just posting like when I put that gym, I put up one of me at the gym with a bunch of sweat, disgusting, right? But that created a little bit more engagement for some reason. So now that actually helped amplify my professional content. So like the people who saw that personal post are in the space that we work with, but they would have never seen it if I didn't mix in something from time to time. So of that human element, but then it makes the rest of your content more reachable to a wider audience. So we're just playing with the algorithm a little bit.
Yeah. Which actually is a good lead into our next point, which would be engagement. So that's troubleshooting, or wait, we're actually doing engagement right now. So that makes sense. So yeah, the fixes, one of the fixes, right? Again, on top of what we're talking about right now, is perfect from what Rahul just said. So some fixes for engagement. Personal content. Honestly, is great. Don't overdo it. You want it to be business related, but you throw some personal shit in, like what Rahul just said, you'll find yourself getting an uptick. Second, engage elsewhere. Meaning go out into the feed and actually comment on people's shit, like people's stuff, go out into the groups, comment on people's shit, give help. The more you can get out there, people tend to think as advertisers that Facebook gives a shit about our ad money, but they don't, because they know this little secret. It's called, if they have all the attention, they know we'll pay them no matter how shitty their service is. They get it. So all they actually care about is engagement. They'll reward you for doing the same thing out there. 3, post engagement questions. Engagement question type posts. If you don't know what those are, go back to a few weeks ago and watch some of the content trainings I've done inside of here. Teach you guys how to do engagement questions, because this kind of stuff, if you do this one day and then an ask the next day, you'll be able to get that through value. And then finally, it's going to be add more targeted friends and have a better profile funnel. And these in order would be the way that I would do it, right? Post the content, engage elsewhere is a huge one. Engagement type question posts, value, add more friends, have a better profile. Now, next, right? No audience. This one's a really easy one to fix, but for some reason, it absolutely terrifies people. I always tell this story. Lately, I tell this story anyway, about how I started out shooting videos, like doing lives and posting content, all this shit on my Facebook page, like however many years, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, fuck, a long time ago now, years. If you go back and find them, I look like garbage, right? I'm talking nonsense probably, and I don't look all that great on camera. I don't have a good presence, right? I just sit there and I mumble a bunch of bullshit. But the point was, I just did it. And it was probably the best idea I ever had, because what did that do? It taught me how to get comfortable in front of a camera. It didn't teach me to look at the camera. I still can't do that apparently, but there's AI coming in to fix that. So that'll do it by itself. But my presence developed, right? And my audience developed with it. And so all of that kind of stuff grew together. So it's a good thing I did this alone at first so that it could grow out. But the second thing was, I still landed clients from that content, even at the absolute worst. Right? Meaning I had no likes, no comments on anything for a while that I posted. I closed a $10,000 a month agency deal who referenced that video. Literally, it was a fintech company that said they never would have hired me to do their Facebook and Google PPC campaigns. They wouldn't even consider me if they hadn't happened upon one of my videos, because one of them had some kind of connection on Facebook and they heard what I said and they reached out to me and they did it that way. So even though I wasn't getting engagement yet, even though I didn't perceivably have an audience based on what at the end of the day are vanity metrics, right? It was still getting viewed by potential clients by me just getting out there and doing the damn thing. So not only was I improving, but I'm also making money on it. And we had another client, a student in the GSD not that long ago, do that exact same thing. They closed a big deal based on a piece of content that they got. And again, they had no likes, no engagement, but they referenced it during the pitch. They'd gone and watched it to check him out after they had the first interaction, and they closed primarily because they really liked that content. They really liked what he put out. And it made a huge difference to be able to do that. And so number one thing, you got no audience, is get over it. Because it doesn't matter how big you get, you're still going to feel smaller than some of the other people around you. So it's okay. Be okay with talking to yourself at first. Just use it to get better. But two, just get consistent. I'm going to show you something that we call hunting grounds. I'm going to give you a base level set of this. But I'm going to show you right now how Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of these companies have spent billions of dollars and about 2 decades doing literally one thing: building you a database of your perfect clients. Wasn't that really nice of them, guys? Yeah, exactly. Because all you got to do is this. You go over to Facebook. I want to work with real estate agents. Cool. Let me just type in the word real estate agent and see what happens. First, I'm going to click on the group thing. Cool. Let's see. Any groups for real estate agents? Oh, yeah, 50,000 there, 161,000 there, 32,000, pretty much an endless amount. Cool. Well, what if I don't want to go through? I'm going to click all the join buttons. What if I don't want to go through all that bullshit yet? Okay, cool. What if I just click on, oh man, people? Wow, people. Okay. What does people do? Oh, look, real estate agent, real estate agent, real estate agent, real estate investor, owner and thing at liable real estate agent. And look at how far I can just scroll and scroll and scroll. And what the hell? An endless database of friends I can add, people I can send messages to. And eventually I add enough of these people and enough of them accept my friend request. All of a sudden, they're going to see my content, which now has messaging that relates to realtors. That doesn't say I help small businesses generate traffic with SEO, but instead talks to your person and now says, I actually help realtors add about 20 qualified buyers to their calendars every 30 days without them needing to learn a new system at all. Reverse pain statement at the end. Now you're talking to a person. Now you're saying, hey, I just sent out a text that literally was able to book 10 seller appointments in 7 freaking days without spending a single dime on ads. That's database reactivation. And we're going to get into a lot of that shit this month. We're going to be highlighting a lot of high level shit. So just opening that loop for you guys, right? You're talking to them now, right? Then you're like, okay, well, Cody, I don't work with real estate agents, man. What if I work with like a med spa owner? All right, why don't we just type in med spa owner and see what happens there? Groups. Oh, look at that. 3,000 members, 11,000 members, right? On and on and on. 4,000 members, 15,000 members. Cool. A bunch of groups. What if I hit people again? Look at that. Owner at spa, med spa, owner at med spa. So can I scroll down through it a bunch? Oh, look at that. I can. Cool. Endless amounts. Well, maybe I got some pages I want to look at. All right, let's see. Med spa. I'll just take away the word owner even though I don't seem to even have to. Let's just click here. Okay, cool. I wonder if they're running shitty ads that I could go and fix for them. Right? You click on here. They're not running any ads. Let's see if they've ever run any in the past. So I could say, hey, have you run ads before and you just suck at it? Right? And on and on and on you go. And then you build a list of it. But I'll tell you guys a little secret, a little hack, okay? What we have all of our people do, we have built-in resources for this for the main GSD program, is we take all of these searches and all of these links and all of these things and we put them on a spreadsheet. And then you never, ever, ever, ever in a million years, you go to LinkedIn, do the same thing. Go here, hit people, med spa owner. Hey, look at that, med spa owner, med spa owner, med spa owner. And look what else, 7,000 responses. Crazy, right? Look at all these platforms. Bill Gates apparently got together with Zuck and said, shit, let me do it too. I want to help these guys. I want to build a database too. I also felt left out. So let's go do that. Right? Take all of these links, all of these things, put them on a spreadsheet. And then the next time somebody comes to you we're doing troubleshooting today. So the problem will be you, your setter or your sales team at some point might come to you and be like, I don't know where to start more conversation. I don't know how to add more friends. I don't know where I'm supposed to go post content. You take them and you just go, you snap them out of it. You show them the spreadsheet and say, hey, here's a list of 1 million. Here's a list of like hundreds of thousands of people pre-made for you. All you have to do is go click on it and use it. and actually start conversations and post content. So audience isn't that hard. Crazy, right? Look at that. So organic marketing, we just got through. Pretty easy. Pretty easy when you know how to actually go down and break through. What's my problem? How do I fix it? What is my problem? How do I fix it? It can get down to it, right? And I pride myself on this, guys. I've always said one of my main abilities is communication. My other main ability is problem solving, troubleshooting shit. There's two types of people in the world, especially the world of business. It's the one where one little problem can make you go off the rails, where like you can't get anything else done, you can't figure it out, and you don't know how to work on it, and you're stuck. The other type of person is a person that can actually go through and see it. Now, if you can only see the end result and you're just focused on that, I did all of this and I need to book appointments and close deals. If all of that's to that point, you're like, well, fuck. You get to that point, you're like, it either worked or it didn't work. It's an on, it's an off, it's a gray, or no, it's a white or a black, and that's it, right? You need to be able to understand the steps. My content didn't result in any booked appointments. Cool. Do you have engagement? Do you have audience? And now we're going to talk about Messenger, right? How do you fix it? There's all these steps in between. What's the actual problem? Without knowing the actual problem, you can't actually fix anything. So then we get into Messenger. And my most common issues with people for Messenger is that they view it as one thing. They're like, one thing. I'm not booking anybody. Or I'm using this script and it fucking sucks because nobody's booking anything. Or I'm trying this thing and it's all broken. But with a Messenger, it really comes down to three things: the opener, the conversation, and the conversion. And the problems for each one, right, are actually unique. The opener is no one's actually opening it, or no one is responding. The conversation is they ghosted me. They ghosted me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to have a conversation at all, right? That's usually the only problem in the middle.
Well, one more thing in the conversation, like you're using a script too closely and not actively listening or reading.
Now, so let's call that acting like a robot.
There we go. Better way to do it. And mind you, just like act like a robot up front with the goal of not being robotic later. So it's like we want the training wheels on, just copy, paste, but then we want to get off that as fast as humanly possible. Because like in the inner circle, we'll give the exact script as if we were kind of saying, all right, it's going to be a little general. It works in high volume. If we want to have meaningful conversations, then we're going to start to operate the script, not like an actor, but more like I'm going to actively listen. And this is now becoming a framework.
So then we get into this, right? Opener. What are some fixes for the issues? No one is actually opening my shit. Well, that can be because it's going to their spam box. It can be because they're not actually engaged with you. They don't know who the fuck you are. All of these different reasons. So how do we fix it? Well, it won't go to their spam box if you're their friend first. So we try and add them as a friend. And most of the time they'll actually definitely open it if you've engaged in their content and they're like, well, who the hell is this guy? So they want to see why are you liking my shit? Who the hell are you? And they'll want to be that next step and actually look at it. The second part is be more personable, meaning we have a bunch of different variations of the scripts and shit that we actually send, right? So it's some of them are like, hey, do you do this thing or that thing? Some of them are questions, but also when we're getting low response rates, what we'll do is we'll switch it up. Like, hey, saw that you're an OG in that kind of a space. By the way, love what you said about X thing that I found on your profile. I totally agree with that 100%. Pumped to see that somebody else does too. Start a fucking conversation about the shit they're saying. People love to talk about the shit that they were just talking about. They love it. And then create a transition. Fixes for the middle part. The conversation. So again, what Rahul said actually here might have been more of a fix, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, but act less like a robot. The worst setters in the world follow the script. Weird, right? I want to say that again. So I want you all to hear it because I actually believe I believe personally, and maybe Rahul will tell me no on this one. I don't know. I believe personally as a salesperson and as a setter that once you get past the beginning stages, so once you're not a total noob, the worst thing you can do is actually follow the script. You should only be utilizing it as a framework and then letting the conversation take you to where you need it to go and listening to the other person. Actually, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Well, you tell me, what do you think? Right or wrong?
Like, no, I don't disagree. I just have a perspective. Like, I just look at this as like human to human versus like robot to Facebook Messenger, because I think when we're in uncharted territory, we forget our human skills and think like, oh, well, I want to try this new thing. I just look at it as if I ran into somebody at Starbucks and I don't know who they are and I want to talk to them. That's kind of like how I get my mindset, is like I put myself in their position. Like if I'm trying to book roofers or dentists or whatever the target audience is, I want to be sensitive to the fact that like, hey, how do I put myself in a comfortable situation for them, not for me? So we can continue the conversation as if we're having a cup of coffee, or I got placed at a wedding at a dinner table where I don't know anybody. How do I put myself in that mind where now I can say, instead of the generic stuff like, hey, how are you, JJ? And he's going to say, good, how are you? And I'm going to say, also good. Then we have nothing else to talk about, right? So instead of saying like the example of like how to say, how's your day going? Or they're going to say, good, how are you? Avoid the generic, is like, JJ, what's been the best part that's happened to you today? Now you have to answer something in a fucking sentence. And sorry if there's kids listening. I just saw that. But now you have to answer that in a proper sentence. You know, now we can have engagement, eye contact, and now have a more meaningful conversation. And that's what I'd like to transition to Messenger. Like one of my openers is very simple. Like if I saw a roofer, let's say, for example, I would just say, bro, like your website is amazing. I love it. That's my opener. Guess what? That's now he's going to thumbs up it, heart it. Like, no, I appreciate that. And now I can start the next step of my conversation.
It's definitely using that personal stuff. But I think that's some of my more favorite stuff lately is engaging with, mentioning their content, mentioning their website, mentioning something, right? That allows them to know that you're not just spam artisting everybody. You're taking a second to actually look at this stuff and make it work, right? To me, that makes the most sense. So I love that. And then the final part is conversion, right? They're not booking. They're going through the whole conversation with you. And trust me, the thing is, if they are going through the whole conversation with you, I'll tell you right now, they should be booking, because everybody knows what it is nowadays. It's not some shocking thing at the end of it when all of a sudden you're like, hey, you want to hop on a call? So if you lose it there, then you did something wrong. Every sale, and Messenger is the first part of that, is all about knowing that the person has one thing that they need fixed. They're on the call, having the conversation, doing the thing for one reason. If you can find that reason and build a bridge between it and your solution, they'll buy your shit. Then it's just about leveling up the certainty that your product is the thing that can fix it. You're the person that can do it for them. Your company is going to actually make it happen. But the gist of it is, what are they there for? Any confusion, right, that you give to them between those 2 points is where you're going to lose it. Anything that you give them, and salespeople who are newer have a really bad habit of this, because they're like, well, my company or my product does all these amazing things. If I don't go over all these amazing things, then you're not going to know about it, so you probably won't buy. But what you need to be thinking is, how do I simplify it down? All I need to do to tell you is what it is you came to do. We're going to solve that problem. And eventually you're going to learn about all this other cool shit that we do. That's going to be the stuff that keeps you here. That's going to be what blows your mind. When you get all that, you're going to absolutely be a customer for life. But right now, in this moment, it's only going to confuse you. Now I'm going to have to explain those features. I'm going to have to give you new benefits, resell each thing. Instead, if I just stick to whatever you're here for, you'll figure that stuff out on your own, and you'll be a buyer now. And it's going to be beneficial for you and beneficial for me to go through that process. All right, guys. Now we're going to paid traffic troubleshooting. Paid traffic troubleshooting. This one really, guys, I'm not going to dive into all the 3 million different ways we can do. So all we're going to do today is know what the numbers are telling you. Okay. So first, what I mean by this is we have to understand a basic concept. Okay. So there's 2 types of indicators. There's what's called leading indicators and there's lagging indicators. So leading indicators are exactly that. They are the things that we are looking for that should eventually lead to the lagging indicator, which is the end results that we're actually looking for. So the leading indicators in ads are stuff like our link click-through rate. And I highlight link click-through rate because we do not want to use CTR alone. You always want link click-through rate. Regular CTR means that they've clicked anywhere on the ad. That can include stuff like see more for the text, clicking around to actually do something on it, but it does not necessarily mean they clicked through the ad to go to your form, your landing page, or take an action. Link click-through rate means they actually clicked on the link. Second thing here, cost per click. Other leading indicator is going to be your conversion rate. Other leading indicator, CPMs, right? This kind of stuff is great, and it is what we want to use to turn knobs, but only if our lagging indicators are out of whack. Our lagging indicator is going to be our CPA, our cost per action desired. So these could be anything like purchases, like cost per purchase, our cost per call, our cost per sale. Now, cost per call could also be a leading indicator. Leading indicator also possibly depends on the goal of the overall campaign. So what do we want to know? Well, the first thing that we're going to be doing is when you troubleshoot, I'm going to give you one rule. Never, ever fix something that is not broken. Okay, marketers of all types are absolutely horrid at working for the only simple reason that you think you're supposed to. What I mean by that is oftentimes what you will do is you will go in and you will do work just because you think you're getting paid to do work. And what the most common thing is when you start to understand some of the shit that I'm telling you about, meaning understanding I have benchmark here and I don't want them to move, you'll start playing around with shit, even if these things are in line with what you want. So if your lagging indicators are within desired range, do not touch them. Anything ever. Okay, you could have the worst, well, probably not conversion rate, but you could have the worst CPMs, click-through rate, and CTR you've ever seen in your life. But if your actual cost per purchase, sale, or call is within the range you want it to have, it does not matter.
Yeah, like that's super important because I fucked up on one campaign and it was a lawyer funnel where we were attracting lawyers to us and we got, I don't know how much, I think it was $950 for one lead, but we spent a whole bunch more money for that first lead and before that. But the lead, when we re-optimized, I said, fuck this, turn this shit off. I wasn't following the lagging indicator because the only person that called ended up spending a boatload of money, like $36,000. And it's probably more by now, or it is more because I don't know. I mean, we charge him a monthly fee and that was a couple of years ago. And like ever since then, I'm like, just give the lagging indicator time to catch up, to have evidence that we are having a losing campaign. And that was like a huge mistake because when we turned the thing back on, like we never found the rhythm of that campaign again. So it went from an asset to a liability because I made the mistake of saying these leading indicators are fucking everything up. But the lagging indicator was like, dude, this is so fucking profitable.
Yeah. I think that's super important. One thing you said in there too, because one thing we've gotten really good at for us and our clients is turning stuff on and getting to a certain benchmark for cost per lead and cost per incoming base indicators. So we're using leads and calls almost as leading indicators instead of lagging ones, and allowing that to breathe for a couple of months for the sales team to nurture them enough to get closes out of it. And if that works, scale it. And it's the people who don't let things breathe like that, who need that first week or first month to fucking print money like that, they usually end up being in trouble.
Yeah, those days are a little bit gone unless you're like a big or huge name brand like an Amazon or even like a Tony Robbins. He may be able to get conversions a little faster because he outspends the market just to be known, you know. And if we're not in Tony Robbins' budget range, we just got to let it breathe a little bit. but also know what you're doing with your audience. If it's trying to go from cold to sold, it's a little bit harder nowadays. There's too much competition. Because if you go down the Facebook feed right now, you'll see friend, friend, ad, and then friend, friend, ad. There might be either 3 friends and then an ad, or 2 friends and then an ad. So that's how much competition it's come from just like the right rail back when they started, where it's like the ad's there and you don't really pay attention to it and you just go through your thing. Now they're blending it right in the friends thing, like over the last several years. So it is competitive. That's why when we talk about like the leading indicators, we have a strategy with the outcome we're looking for. And one of our strategies is give away as much value-based stuff for free, eliminate as much friction as possible, and then redeem it with an exchange for information. Whether it's like go to our group to get it, and then we get the information from that, or fill in your name, email, phone number, and we'll text it right over. Like that kind of stuff. It's like ethical bribes, as Ryan Dice from Digital Marketer calls it. We just say, give the world the value. They'll share their information if they want it bad enough. And then we have that nurture process. So now that they're at the very, very top of our funnel, just wanted the free thing. And then now it's our job to give them what's the next logical step for it. Now that you got the free content calendar and how to rock content in 30 minutes over 30 days, the next logical step would be like learn how to like write the content in our training for $27. Then the next step might be like get into our VIP crew and join us on these things, right? So it's like we're looking at like a little bit of an ascension model and just kind of like thinking like what's the logical path of the customer journey in today's world. And if we want to skate to where the puck is going to be, we can try to like look a little bit into the future, because I just want to kind of lower expectations in the sense that this is what ads are supposed to do. It's to be like a nice to meet you. And then we now nurture from there. And then you can always do like the direct to call stuff. And then you can have phone calls right away. But then keep in mind, like if they are extremely cold and you're selling a high ticket thing, you'll need a little bit of a sales process or just absolute impeccable timing.
Cool.
Yeah. Bribery.
Here, guys, a couple of benchmarks. Right? Because I know you guys were asking about those. Cost per lead, 10 to 20, cost per call, 100 to 150, preferably sub 100, but let's start with reasonable for you guys. Cost per group member, 10 to 30, link click-through rate, 1% plus. Anything under 1% is a low, over 1%, you're in the green. Cost per click is $4 to $5 now. I know it sucks. And I know we used to say $1, $2, but get with the times, people. Shit's more expensive.
Painful. Like ice cream was 69 cents in my day. Now it's $1.38 for a single scoop.
I remember
robbery.
When I started with Facebook ads, I used to feel like the old people in the industry were like, oh, I remember when cost per click in Google was like $1, $2, and you kid now got to deal with 10, 20. Yes, going to get there with Facebook now, guys. It is what it is. Now move on to something else. And finally, guys, the fixes. Right now we know what all the problems are. We understand everything. What are the fixes? Low click-through rate. What does that mean? I want you to understand what it means. It means you're getting people to see the ad, but nobody's clicking on it. What does that mean? It means nobody gives a shit about what you're saying. So again, right offer, right person. That's the goal. Basic marketing shit. So what does that mean? You've probably got the wrong offer, wrong creatives in front of it. And finally, if those don't work, change audience. High cost per click means similar things to the CTR. That's why they say the same thing. That's why you put this one down here too, because it means you're having a decent CPM, or you have a super high CPM, or you need more people to click through. If your CTR is low, meaning there's a low click through rate, it means your cost per click is going to be way higher. Okay. For this one specifically, instead of just changing audience, you're going to use adjust to a broader audience. And the attempt to do that is to lower your CPMs. You're trying to get the CPMs to come down a little bit. Low conversion rate usually means whatever you're saying in the ad, you're confusing people on the landing page. So what that means is the intellectually impaired create ads and send them to websites because somebody told them to do that along the way. They're like, oh yeah, send them to the website. Cool. A couple people are saying too many options. That's the main one. It's a distraction, right? They clicked on your ad to take a specific action. All the next step exists to do is to actually allow them to take that action. There doesn't need to be some link that says about us and testimonials and all this other shit they can click off the page to go do. Because 9 times out of 10, they click off that page, they're never coming back. They're going to get distracted by some other shit that came up in the last 5 seconds and they're gone. That's why you'll see a lot of people who are pros that have been doing this a long time. Some of their landing pages are literally just the one line of offer and a button that says do it. And those convert probably 10 times out of 10 better than those fancy ass funnels you'll see in ClickFunnels or high level. Those people are usually funnel builders that are trying to show you something beautiful because it looks better than a simple ass thing. But the simple ass thing is probably going to convert better 9 times out of 10. It's just the way it works. So when your CVR is low, it usually means we'll call it ad sent. It just means one thing looks exactly like the other. One thing is just a continuation of that. The distractions are all eliminated. It's all simplified. Create ad sent. Fix your CVR, and you'll be able to make that happen. Hopefully, we're about to wrap this part up, guys. We're going to hop over to the VIP room in a second. Hopefully, this has been amazing for you guys. I like to go through these little sessions every now and then. I think that, just telling you guys awesome strategies that work are one thing, but being able to troubleshoot through this shit when it doesn't work isn't talked enough about in any industry, really. Because guess what, guys? I think you guys know by now, we tell the truth here in the GSD. We're all about, being straight to the point. It's not always going to. And the difference between the people who are going to make it work and the people who are going to fail is understanding shit like what I just told you guys today for both organic and for paid marketing. So when stuff goes off the rails, how do I problem solve? How do I troubleshoot? And how do I still make it work?
We want to suck less every day is the goal, right? So tomorrow we should suck a little bit less. So we want to take our learning mistakes and learn from them, actually apply them. That's what the failure is supposed to be for. Is supposed to be a teacher of us, not something that happened to us. Like simplify the complexity so you can actually execute. Because everything is just a journey of like little small steps that build the system. Like too many people like try to build the full system without like step 1 through 3, and they go to step 7, then 9, then back to 3, and then the shit all breaks. But if we just follow the workflow and just compose and be really composed, it's going to be done faster, cleaner, more reliable, more consistent, and then we can actually grow. Because like if we built a house on sand, I don't know how safe I'd feel living in that house, right? So that now we've all been warned, or at least now we're all aware. So let's just not avoid those sandy foundations and build something really sturdy that we can build upon. It'll feel slow at first, but I'm telling you, when you have the foundation right, it's the fastest path to $1 million and more. Like you'll feel good about it.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.